Prabhupada's campaign, in terms of outreach and dissemination of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, even though in many respects he tended to keep a lid on it and make it more basic and more in a way that lent itself more to emphasis on practice than learning technical details about the Siddhanta and so forth. Here's the basic Siddhanta: do Harinam Sankirtan, and so we realize it. Don't ask me. Go there and find out, yourself. That's what I've given you, would be his answer. Someone else might give it more detail. Well, according to Vishwanath, according to Jiva Goswami, this is said and that, and this, and that's all right too. But Prabhupada was more preoccupied and pushed and motivated by Nityananda Prabhu, which was more analogous to Nityananda Prabhu's own campaign, just for wide circulation, get people to chant, right? Chant and be happy, for example. So that, as extraordinary of a chapter in the history of Gaudiya Vaishnavism as that is, and as much as that is to be celebrated and so forth, and it has been, and it's a story that the story is just the story of Prabhupada's campaign, externally speaking. It's just very fascinating and miraculous. And it's captured the attention of people who are not his disciples, not devotees of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and of course many that are, but even those that are not, they have to admit, objectively speaking, it's an extraordinary story. From the living as a beggar in Vrindavan, to a homeless person in New York and so forth, to all that he accomplished in terms of outreach. But it's not the whole story, is my point here. And I'm a little sad that other part of the story, which is equally, if not more glorious, hasn't come out. That a tidal wave of sakhya-rasa arose in him and inundated the world. That had practically become obscured. And here, in the form of Prabhupada, comes a wave of this. It's to say, wait a minute. So I think that part of his contribution is significant. And I have turned my attention to that to some extent in his service to him, to be appreciated, which has been appreciated by some, but not that I want appreciation for myself, but I think, hey, there's more to be said about Prabhupada that makes him special. And if you want to make him special, why do it in a sectarian way that is tied to criticizing others, making less of them, and building walls and so forth? Why not do it in this way, which is real? It talks about his unique inner life, the beauty of that. Celebrate that. And the people come to his mission, particularly for that. Not that they can't get Madhurya Rasa as well, but this is what he was about. So, again, as for me, as one of his small disciples, I see a service opportunity here in this regard. I think I want to convey that this is why I'm involved in this. It's not for any other reason. This is something about him that is actually true. And he has also revealed certain things to me internally about himself. Without, making that public, it seems to be, if you want to write, if you want to do some service, try to find something that's not being done. Not to outdo somebody else in something, but something that's lacking. Here's something that's lacking. The reality of this about it. So let's make a contribution. And I think that it's well thought out by his grace, and it will be appreciated in due course, hopefully after I'm gone. Right now, the community at large that he spawned, an international community of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of help. It needs a lot of generosity. It needs clear thinking on a lot of issues, and I try to contribute to that, and this is one of the ways. So the inner life of Prabhupada, which we wouldn't know about if he hadn't told us, right?
Jashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Jashoda